What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 293 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour. I'm here with Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And Lj.Lowery.
What up?
And this week, we're geeking out. That's it. Just general, run-of-the-mill geekery.
Not much
News is a little light,
okay.
but we're going to have a fun show regardless. It's going to be amazing. Definitely some D&D talk, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We will, before that, though, we'll get into the games we've been playing. None of us have played a D&D campaign this week, have we?
I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
We're still playing D&D every week, right? And so our last
Oh,
one
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't want to talk
cool.
about it, but I guess it's sort of significant. The last session we did, because we've been doing all online. One, because of COVID, two, just because people kind of moved further away, so it's just a little bit harder to meet up. But this last one, we finally finished an arc that has been going on for like a year, I'm pretty sure.
Man.
It's been going on
Dungeons
for
& Dragons so much.
a long time.
That reminds me of when we finally finished Curse of Strahd, where it was just like, yes, we're done.
Yeah, and so we finally finished an arc where we had this big boss fight, essentially, and so we actually had people come physically with, like, one of our friends who lives, like, 2 hours away, was
nice.
able to drive up and stay the night here, so that was super fun, just being able to physically hang out with all of them, and yeah, so that was just like on a Saturday, and we just did it for, a couple hours. Usually we meet Wednesday nights, so that was kind of special. And besides that, I'm going to be running a D&D one-shot for my husband for Valentine's Day. So that's going to be what we're doing.
That's so cool.
I've
That's awesome.
Very, very D&D all the time. So
Cool.
yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. What about you, LJ?
Oh, I mean, are
D&D.
we staying on the D&D topic? Or
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, might as well. So I'm part of a campaign with my buddy Caleb from Mountain Nerds that we've had on the show before. He's the DM. So we've been streaming it every 2 weeks. So it's on Twitch on his channel, and it's a sci-fi themed thing. And we picked it back up again this past Sunday, and it's super cool. It's fun. Like he totally just like fudges stuff and makes stuff very like funny. Like in a lot of ways, our campaign kind of reminds me of the Orville, like just because sometimes it gets like silly. And we'll get into it later, but a particular character that looks like one in Boba Fett, he literally came into our campaign this Sunday, and his name was Dirch McGurch. And so it was just like, dumb stuff like that, and it's super fun. We actually have one of our writers from the gaming department has joined us as well, since we needed more people, and it's super fun. So I encourage you guys to check it out. I think our next session is on the 18th, I believe, so it's like a couple weeks from now. So I've just been happy to get that started. So
cool.
Yeah. So we geeking out about video games now.
I want to go into Dice Throne real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's do a board game and then a sub into gaming.
There we go. Well. Spoiler alert: none of us watched movies, so this will fill that gap.
Yeah, there we go. We've figured it out elsewhere. No, I did play Dice Throne, and it was really cool. I've got a couple friends, and they're a little bit older than us. So, Jason, I believe, is 39, and then Ashley is 40. They're a married couple that we've been hanging out with quite a bit.
Cool.
So their kid is 22 now. So wow. I'm closer in age with their kid than them, but I work with Ashley. Anyways,
that's cool.
So we all came and played Dice Throne, which is a game that I love, and it's just one of those games where like people play it once, they never really want to play it again for some reason, and I love it.
See, I've never had the chance to play it, so I'd be super stoked, but I don't have people to play a tabletop game. So.
It's great. My only thing that I wish is that I had the new version of Season 1. They kind of rebalanced some things. We just don't play as a Shadow Thief, because the Shadow Thief in the original is very overpowered.
Dang.
But, yeah. The husband, Jason, he really loved it. Ashley, not so much. I told her it was like Yahtzee, and she was like, "This is nothing like Yahtzee." Which, for those who don't know what Dice Throne is, it is like Battle Yahtzee. So you have different hands. If you look at your little character sheet, the roles are like different moves basically. But you're doing like small straights and large straights, and Yahtzee is like an ultimate. And each character has like different cards that upgrade them, and that was where she was getting a little lost. She didn't understand what the cards did. And the cards are a little weird because it's like there's 3 different types of cards that you'll have in your hand, and they like play at different times. So she didn't know like when she could play it or what she was doing with it, or like, why she would need to. But yeah, no, I recommend Dice Throne. Maybe
they got a Marvel one coming out.
Yeah, super proud of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the artist is getting like to do the Marvel art in that.
Yeah,
I know he's really excited about
cool.
that. Yeah, that's really awesome.
That reminds me of Ashley today. My coworker was talking with one of my coworkers, and he was saying that there's a Marvel code names, which I didn't know.
Yeah,
I played regular code names many times, and I knew there was like a Harry Potter code names, but apparently there's a Marvel one, and it just sounds like really difficult because there's so many characters in Marvel, so many heroes and villains. Anyway, that just reminded me of
that's a deep well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, because like, at least in code names, like regular vanilla, it's like, you know, you got places, you got objects, you got animals, you got whatever, but it's like, if you're playing Marvel and they're all either like superheroes or supervillains or something, it's like, that seems difficult to me, but anyway.
Yeah, you have to really know your stuff. I mean, because it might not even be characters, it could be like arc reactor. And like, not everyone that's seen a movie is going to know what an arc reactor.
And it's like, I don't even know if it's like Marvel, like if they're just choosing popular characters, or if they're doing like fringe characters from the comics. Like, if anyone who's listening to this has played it, which I assume there's got to be someone out there who has, like, let us know, because I'm curious. Like, I kind of want to try it, but at the same time, like, my Marvel knowledge only runs as deep as the movies go. So not very deep.
Or like Vibranium, if you've never like watched the movies, you're not gonna, or you know, if you don't know anything about Marvel, like Vibranium isn't gonna mean anything to you.
And you can only still use one word to describe everything. It's like, how would you? That'd be so
hard. 2 words metal. Hopefully Iron Man and Adamantium's there. But then you get Magneto, and you don't know whether or not Magneto's.
Imagine one of them is like the assassin card, like Magneto's one or Iron Man's one. You have to be really careful.
Well, you can say that with Harry Potter. That would be really difficult. It's almost like a pop quiz knowledge. Like you'd have to know, not pop quiz.
Yeah, I feel like Harry Potter could be easier simply because it's a smaller world. It's not like a multiverse type, like giant cast of characters. There's like a big cast of characters, but not nearly as big as Marvel. Plus,
all your friends would have to have read or watch Harry Potter, though.
Yeah,
play it.
Yes, I would assume so.
Like a hippogriff. You're like, how do I explain a hippogriff to someone who doesn't know what that is?
Exactly.
Interesting. The word's not pop quiz. What are they? Pubs?
Trivia.
Trivia. Yeah, you'd have to know
Harry
trivia.
Potter trivia is quite fun, but everyone always knows more than me.
It's weird because I was really into the books when I was a kid. The movies, I kind of died down when the last few movies came out. But I haven't really watched them since the movies came out, and so I don't really know much anymore. But I used to be way into them.
That's cool.
When I was younger. Circling back to Dice Throne, I recommend playing it. Maybe not with your 40-year-old conservative Christian friends.
Good warning out there. Good, yeah.
Yeah. Not that it's not. Conservative Christian makes it sound like, oh no, has it got a bunch of stuff in it? It's not. It's just a little. It's for people who play games for sure.
Right.
Cool. We can get into video games then. LJ, you can go ahead and start.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about Dying Light. I just want to tell people that my review is finally out, and I can say everything about it now. I could have technically last week, but I didn't think about it at the time. I was just trying not to say too much last week. But my review is out now, and that game is doing quite well on Steam, and I just wanted to add that. But
cool.
The things I did play, I went back to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart this weekend actually, and I posted some shots on Twitter, and shout out to Insomniac Games, they retweeted my photos, and like I think the retweet has, like, last I saw it had like 888 likes or something, so that was cool for people to just see my virtual photography work and really like it, and just felt all the love from Twitter the other day. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank is really good. I recommend people playing Rift Apart if you have a PlayStation 5. Super good. And that game looks good on its own. Like, I know I do edits and so like pretty. In post and everything, but like that game just looks on its own. That like it's not, to me, it's not my work that enhances my photos. It's just that game that made my photos look even better.
It makes it easy for you.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so super fun game. A lot of cool stuff going on there. The other game I'm going to mention, I haven't played a ton of it. I did play a good little amount, but it went to early access, or like not like an early access preview phase, but like the deluxe edition had early access on it. But I played Sifu, which is really cool. It's very challenging. It's got kind of Sekiro Soulsy elements with like a parry system. It's got roguish elements to where like you can upgrade as you go along, and like you can upgrade and learn new like abilities and stuff, but you lose those obviously when you completely die. Mm-hmm. And then there's the age system to where when you die enough, your guy ages, and you can get up to like, I think the highest age I had was like 76. Yeah, that's so cool. Like it's part of this, like they explain it because you got this like amulet or this like talisman thing that he has. Very kind of reminds me of Jackie Chan in a way. Okay. Remember those? It's just that kind of that. It's a mystical thing to where it's like you die enough and one of them burns out. Then he ages enough. When you age, you gain more like, I believe you gain more like damage and stuff like that, but your health is smaller.
What happens so there's like can you die of old age?
No. So what happens? There's a death limit basically. Once you go to like that 70 age. Mm-hmm. You basically have to, so you can try to, like, if you play the level you're on, you can retry it, but you're still going to lose, like, all your, like, knowledge and abilities and stuff. So it's just going to be harder if you try to do that level again right after you fully die. So so basically to rebuild yourself back up, you have to start all over at the first level again, and you'll be younger again. God. So it's got a roguish element, but also it's a fun way to shake up, like, think of like an old school beat 'em up game. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of an interesting way to be like, okay, like I've been through this fight once already, you know, I kind of know what to do, you know, or like I had this ability before, like I should get that one because it helped me a lot. But it's super cool because it kind of like changes a game that would be normally like 2 to 3 hours on its own and gives it that layer of challenge. Like there was a point where I could use items and kick chairs around and kick stuff and throw stuff at people without even like having to grab it as a weapon and things like that. Like there was all this cool kung fu stuff I could do, but then I blazed through that first level actually, not too bad. And then the boss took some age off me, but and then I retried that first level again, and I was like, man, if I really play sloppy, then it's gonna bite me in the butt because. For whatever reason, I did really good that first level the first time, but the second, I was like, ooh, okay, I can see the challenge in this now. So, it's a fun game. It's really cool. It's challenging, so people be aware of that. But I assume if people play like Souls games and roguelikes and stuff, that they are going to be okay with that challenge. So, cool. So yeah, that's Sifu. I'm going to play it more for sure. Super fun.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Shelley?
So I finally got Pokemon.
Yeah.
How you feeling about it?
It's really fun.
It is
really fun. Oh, it's so ugly, but I don't really care that much. It's not really impeding. It's funny. It's funny to laugh at. It's like, it's more sad the more I think about it, but I just don't think about it, and then I'm not sad anymore. I just, I'm having a really fun time. Like, I think, it's hard to describe how good it feels to just like catch Pokemon all the time. And I think it was I watched this video. It was just a simple side-by-side comparison of catching a Pokemon and either, you know, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, those just being the newest mainline games, even though the remakes, right? Just in comparison of like one single battle trying to catch a Pokemon there versus catching Pokemon in Legends Arceus. And I think they used one of the outbreaks as an example. Which you don't know, like, outbreaks just mean that you can go to an area where there's just a big group of the same type of Pokemon, so you could catch, like, a ton of the same type. And they're just able to catch, like, 10 Pokemon in the time span that in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl it takes to catch one. And it's just like, man.
I can see that.
Yeah, just how fluid everything is. Like, you never feel like you're leaving, you're never leaving the situation when you're entering a battle. It's all just there with you, and again, like throwing Pokeballs and stuff. Like, I think that's what's so satisfying, is that when I'm battling and when I'm grinding, it really doesn't feel like I'm battling and that I'm grinding. It all feels one and the same. It's also fluid, and you're just in that world. It's very cool. And like riding on the Pokemon's really fun, and it's like I just have never ever been one to want to complete the Pokedex. I've just never, ever since I've played my first Pokemon game, have ever been interested in completing the Pokedex.
You literally got to catch them all in this game this time.
Yeah, it's always
nice.
been for me like, okay, I have my starter, I'm going to overpower my starter, and I'm going to find a pretty strong party to fill out the rest of my 6 Pokemon, right? But now it's like I'm having a hard time deciding, like, you know, I want so many different Pokemon in my party. And I'm just like, it's way easier to switch them out. I feel more compelled to switch up my party all the time. Also, like, I just find myself dying way more often. Not actually dying. I've only blacked out once, but like just my Pokemon faint so easily. Like, it's hard in that way, but it just makes it more interesting, I think, because otherwise I feel like I usually just have one Pokemon or a couple Pokemon that just like blast through everything, and it's like,
and then some get wrecked.
Yeah, but then like here it's like, if I want to try catching an alpha, or if I want to try, you know, doing something else, or even facing a trainer sometimes, like, they hit really hard, and I actually do have to strategize, right? Like, I actually have to use my brain, and use the agile and the strong styles. It's just a very cool addition. Yeah, man, I'm really liking it. And I have 2 shinies.
Nice.
Which is fun. First day I played, I found a shiny Starly, which is just pure luck, I'm pretty sure, because I know lots of people do tons of shiny hunting in this game, but I haven't done any shiny hunting. So that was just the first area. One of the first Starlies I found, in general, was shiny, which I'm like, okay, awesome. And then I mentioned Outbreak. There was an Outbreak of Badoo. So I got a shiny Badoo, and now both of those are all leveled all the way up. They're all to their, you know, highest evolution at this point. But anyway, yeah, I'm just having a really, really fun time in that game.
So, you know that scene in Detective Pikachu when he like tries to catch the Cubone and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like that's me half the time when I play Arceus. Like,
yeah.
It's just, things go wrong so many times, but it's so fun. Like, it's just silly. Like, but it's so fun catching Pokemon in that game.
But it's like, it's a cool mix of, like, I love the different natures that all these Pokemon have. Like, some are docile and just kind of vibe. Then some of them run away, and so you have to like be really careful about how you approach them. And then so many of them just want to attack you, which is like, it finally is sort of solidifying that idea that they always tell you, but you never really felt, right? This idea that, oh, you can't go in the tall grass, like, the Pokemon are going to get you, and you need to get a starter first, so turn around, go back to, you know, Palatown, go back to that town, and get a Pokemon, or else you're going to, like, die, essentially. That actually happens in this game. Like, there's a real threat. I think there was one time where I was in one of the, there's these, I don't want to spoil too much, there's, like, these areas that every once in a while pop up, and they just have, like, extra strong Pokemon, and there's, like, special items and stuff. You'll see it fairly early game, so hopefully it's not too spoilery, but I was in one of those scenarios, and I was completely out of Pokemon, and I'm just like, oh shoot, like, I could just pass out here because I better go. I don't have Pokemon on me, like, they're all too weak or fainted, and it's like, yeah, it's finally clicking. It's like, oh yeah, like, Pokemon are dangerous, but also, like, so cool at the same time, and so that's cool. Sweet. I think if anything, I kind of wish there were less ancestors to characters we already know about. I feel like some of the characters, especially like the ones that they showed off in the trailers, like, I think that's fine. It's fine to have a good handful of characters where it's like, oh, they have, like, you know, they look similar to, you know, this Pokemon game, or like especially the, you know, like Platinum, like Sinnoh games. I think that's like fine. Like even in the trailer, you have like, what's her name, Silene or whatever, like who's very clearly Cyrus's ancestor, which is like, that's fine to have that, but there's just some characters where it's like, okay, you literally have the exact same hairstyle, you look exactly the same as this other character, and like I don't really like care that much. I almost would rather just like, you know, either have more variation that so they don't look literally exactly the same, or just more original characters. Like the original characters in this game are really cool, like Polina and Adaman. I really like them. And I'm just like, okay, why can't we just have like more of that? Why can't we have more original characters? And there's still a good handful of them, but that's like the one thing I could think of besides just the graphics, because I know everyone complains about the graphics. Besides just the graphics, that's like the one sort of complaint I have, is that it's like I'd rather have more original characters. Volo, like I love Volo. That guy's awesome. And maybe he even is an ancestor. I don't know, but I don't think he is. I hope not at this point. He at least feels original enough that I'm like, I attribute this character to this game, whereas so many other characters, it's like, I still attribute them to the other games.
Yeah.
So, those are my kind of short, sweet thoughts on it. Obviously, I'm still playing through it. I don't know how long the game is either. I heard there's a post-game. But I'm just having a fun time with that game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. I am in Days Gone still. For those who played the game, I am opened up 3 camps, or 4, however you want to look at it. I think the 3rd and 4th kind of go hand in hand.
Gameplay is still the best part of that to me. Like, if the game wasn't fun to play, then I probably wouldn't be interested in it. But like, yeah, I still think that's where that game shines.
Yeah, even then, I think there's a lot that could have been, I don't know, just like with the hordes and stuff. They really kind of honed in on that on the trailers, being able to use them and weaponize them. I wish there were, I guess, more hordes than there are.
Yeah, they really dialed back on that, because remember they had like it was almost like a tech demo where he was like being chased by that massive like wave of them. Mm-hmm. Like I've had that happen a couple times, but like not to that extent of that trailer.
I'm pretty sure, and maybe I'm just getting games messed up, but I remember seeing like a horde, and this is like PAX West, so like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So long ago.
I know what you're talking about.
It was a horde like up against a gate, and like I basically like bombed the gate, and then it opened, and then the horde like flew through, and then like tunneled through and like destroyed a bunch of people.
I think that Wednesday's gone.
I mean, we definitely saw it at PAX South for sure.
Like I remember all the setup, all the like statues, or not statues, but like the figures.
That whole setup that Sony
there was
had.
A whole setup. There was like that zombie hanging and stuff.
Yeah.
That was definitely PAX South.
Yeah, because you played. That's where you played that, right? The first time.
Yeah, and I'm thinking before that. I had seen
before
stuff about it.
Okay, maybe it was different, but.
But yeah, it was just this trailer where, because there I got to play it, and I played actually the part at PAX South was pretty early in the game. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And it was nice because I played it. I understood it way more this time around than when I did it PAX South. They kind of just threw you in.
Dude, that's the scary part about demoing games at conventions like that, because you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, they just kind of throw you in. But yeah, it was just like there was just more utilization of the hordes that I think would be really fun. Right now, I just kind of like when I'm weaponizing them, I'm just getting kind of lucky. Like they'll be in an area, so I'll throw a bomb and they'll come and I'll just hide.
I remember I had there was a scenario where I think it's like a story-based thing where you have to deal with a bear.
Yeah.
And I was able to use the zombies to basically fight the bear for me and just finish him off. Yeah. That was
definitely fought the bear by myself. I was like, I'm gonna get out of the way.
That boy's tough. Because like even if you fight him by yourself, you still have to I used like a bunch of explosives.
I had like a sniper rifle, and so I would literally just like run away and then run back, get on top of a truck, sniper rifle,
take pot shots at him.
Yeah, and then like run away again, come back. Because I was somehow faster than the bear. Made no sense. No, super cool. I won't dwell too much on it. I still think a focus on an actual biker gang would have been cool. It's really annoying that everybody has bikes.
Yeah.
And they're all the bikes that you can like unlock in your you don't unlock new bikes, but you can unlock upgrades, and so everybody's bike is just your bike with like different skins.
That's a good point.
And I'm like, it just seems kind of cheap and like quickly made, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, I've seen every other apocalyptic show that I've watched or played has been like, there's one biker guy, and now in this world, everyone's a motorcyclist. And I'm like, that just seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then also the character, I am really starting to fall like in love with the character a lot more than I did at first. I thought he was kind of dumb, but I still think could have leaned more Wolverine, less Spider-Man with the big bad biker.
Okay, so now that you've played Days Gone, I believe one of my pitches for like a Wolverine thing was like Canada. If they somehow integrated that Days Gone style like motorcycle stuff through like Canada, through like Wolverine's like territory like that, I think that'd be neat.
That'd
like,
be cool.
As like driving through as Wolverine in an area.
I'm really
like
enjoying upgrading my bike.
Yeah, like the bike stuff is cool, aside from like the repairing you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love how sometimes you can literally just slide through those hills without even hitting the gas. Like it's so fun to do that.
Yeah. The upgrading it all, I was thinking like there's a lot of car games where you upgrade your cars and make them look different ways, but there's not really a lot of that with bikes. It would have been cool to be able to pick up new bikes and kind of had a garage and then kind of done different things with it. I mean, they just I said last week,
like trike thing, just some massive like
yeah, give me an ATV. That's another thing too.
Yeah,
all these motorcyclists, nobody's got an ATV out there.
That's true. That's a good point.
I guess in summary, like I said last week, if they would have gone all in on some of the things instead of being like everything feels very middle ground. It may have been all in on something that I didn't like, but I think someone else would have enjoyed like a survivalist game where this is just like random tedious survivalist stuff, but not other survivalist stuff, and it just doesn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah.
For me, that's not a game that I would want. I want no survivalist stuff. Just give me a bike that I can ramp off of a mountain and still land.
Yeah.
I just like that kind of travel, but I don't want fall damage. Give me Apex.
Yeah. Fall damage is for the weak.
Yeah. My motorcycle could take it. It's only 1,000 feet off the ground. It's fine. We can move on. Either way, I am probably going to beat it. I think I'm getting pretty close to the end. So, story, as predictable as it is a good story.
See, you had a bike, and I was playing zombie games where I just used my feet.
Yeah,
use my feet as transportation.
I wish this was okay. I said I was going to end it, but I really wish this was a zombie apocalypse game where you started a motorcycle gang because you were just like motorcycle is life. Yeah. And you were like, the only way we're going to survive is brotherhood.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I dig it.
So good.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. There's no motorcycle gang like video games out there. Why not make it this crazy zombie apocalypse? Red Dead Redemption 2 style. You have a little camp.
Yes.
That camp is your...
I mean, they already had Lost in the Damned expansion for GTA 4. They can totally expand on that idea.
Damn.
That's the only biker gang thing I played, and that was basically like, oh, you've seen Sons of Anarchy. Well, here's our take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Same plot.
That's awesome.
Basically, like, another guy's like, I don't like the way this dude's running the gang. Let me fight him. Let me kill him.
I thought about that plan the other day, too. Was like, I went really into Daryl Dixon. I was like, I would think that you would just go crazy with Walking Dead because of the zombies. There isn't a ton of Sons of Anarchy to this either, and I was like, I'm really surprised they didn't pull more inspiration from that. The one thing that I will say, there is somebody, it's kind of spoilery, so I won't give any names, where they burned off his tattoo of his MC, his motorcycle club logo on his back. And they burned that tattoo off, and that is like right out of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
and probably real life. I don't know anything about motorcycle gangs.
Probably.
I was gonna say,
sure, they got
motorcycle like gangs. I don't know to like personally many motorcycle gangs, but two of my friends actually work at a coffee shop here in Seattle called Two Kick that is specifically like for bikers, and there's like a garage next to it where you can like work on your bike, and there's like they do like little like not shows but like workshops and stuff they host there. So
that's so
they're
cool.
really connected with the motorcycle gang community in Seattle, which yes, I guess there is one. By the way, most people maybe not think that. It seems very like more of a rural or like not super.
This takes place in Oregon
type thing. Oh well, yeah. And so, but anyway, I should visit that shop a lot, and there's lots of motorcycle gang folks. They're always up there with the cool motorcycles, but they're all really, really nice. They're all so chill. Like, they're super cool. So that's where it's so funny. It's like, it seems like there's stereotypical, like, motorcycle gang, and I'm sure there's probably motorcycle gangs like that out there, but just in my experience, they're all just really, like, genuine, nice people. So
that would have been cool, too.
Yeah.
Just make it like they're just out. Ah, man, I want this game. Days Gone, get a hold of me. I've got
they're not
ideas.
even getting a sequel. Like Sony, like they're. I think we discussed it before. There won't be a sequel.
There is a petition that just hit some huge milestone like 4 days ago.
Yep. Yeah, there is.
So if they want to make a sequel, I know how to do it. He needs to make a. I don't know how the game ends yet, but him and Boozer can go ahead and make a little gang camp. They have a cook. They can have someone betray them because it's a video game and someone's got to betray them. And they can do like runs for people for other camps, like an actual like MC, and they can help the community. I love this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's cool. There's a motorcycle gang. This is off topic. I can't remember what they're called. It's a motorcycle club. I shouldn't call it a gang. Sorry. But like their whole thing is that they're rough, tough motorcyclists. And when kids go to court, they will walk with the kids so that the kids feel safe.
Gosh. See, like, they're just such nice people.
Yeah, there are definitely like positive clubs out there for sure.
Yeah, cool. All right, that's all that I haven't played. Basically, I haven't even touched Apex because of it. I've been into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Apex just had that new update too.
I know. So I'm like, do I go back or do I finish this game? Yeah. So I go back, I probably won't finish it.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. The Dwayne Johnson's in Fortnite now as an unlockable character. So
weird.
Yep. So that's a thing now. But anyway, speaking of news, we'll get into the gaming news, I guess.
Who plays the boulder in the Avatar Netflix show?
The boulder. I love the boulder.
Anyway, yeah. So for gaming news, not a ton to really talk about here. Some cool stuff. But the kind of the bummer news to me is that Bloomberg reports that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is being pushed back to 2023, which I don't think has been confirmed necessarily. But they literally just announced that DC Fandom last year, like, oh, this is coming out 2022. Mm-hmm. But it is good that Gotham Knights it sounds like Gotham Knights is still on track to come out this year, but Suicide Squad seems like it's not.
Which I think you've even mentioned, LJ.
Yeah.
I think it was you that said you would be surprised if both DC movies, or both DC games came out in 1 year.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. Yeah. So it's like, I figured, yeah, I mean, we barely saw gameplay, or like what looked like gameplay a few months ago, so I'm not surprised. I'm okay with waiting. We have Gotham Knights this year. There's so many good games out right now. Like, it's stupid. Like, and it just makes my massive backlog even bigger.
And more to come. A lot of games coming out soon.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize Forbidden West was so close.
Yeah. Okay. So another game that's actually a lot closer than anyone anticipated, I think. We'll get into it. Actually, both of these. So we had 2 showcases. One of them was State of Play, and so if you're a car person, you'll want to check out Gran Turismo, which is coming out in the next couple weeks. Gran Turismo 7
that game series.
Yeah. So and they say this one's going to be more accessible, even though it is a car sim. I didn't watch the State of Play just because I'm not a big Gran Turismo guy, but I'm sure there's people out there that are, so they can enjoy that.
I'm terrible at car sims.
Yes, especially like the more realistic ones. Like I can play Forza because Forza's easy. Forza literally has like a rewind button where it's like, "Oop, I messed up. Let me get a mulligan." Like
that's cool.
Let me get a do-over. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like this one's going to have more accessibility options for people who are not like super hardcore, which intrigues me. I'll have to see what they do there. But the other game that had a showcase, much shorter, I believe it was only like 15 minutes. But Ghostwire Tokyo had a showcase this week, and it is coming out on March 25th, the same day as Kirby, I believe.
Oh my god!
And I already have Kirby pre-ordered, and like I'm already like, because this game looks good too, and I'm claiming this game on our hot list. So it's just like, Oh, so many good games. And it's
like...
one of those things where it's like, I don't even care about Horizon, but there's like a ton of other games I still really care about coming out.
I feel like 2022 is like, I think it's already becoming this year where it's like, 2021 games were like, there weren't a ton of really big games out.
2021 held back, kind of.
I feel like it was a little bit weak. But I feel like 2022 is like, everything was like, oh, we're not going to put this out in 2021, but it's going to be 2022. And all of a sudden, like, even including Pokemon Legends Arceus, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like out this month. Me saying that last month. I was like, that's out? Like, and then, again, it's like, oh my gosh, Horizon's coming out. And then, oh my gosh, like, these other games are coming out. And which is really cool and really exciting. I'm just like, oh my gosh, my wallet, Yeah. And also, I was even thinking, I'm like, Horizon, I'm just like, okay, and half these games are like open world games.
And then Elden Ring coming out this month, too.
Yeah, it's actually, like, it's creeping up on us. Yeah. It's creeping up on me. Like, maybe our listeners, I don't know, maybe you've been prepared. Maybe you have
I'm
the
playing a lot of the
like,
other, like, weirder games that probably the casual gamer doesn't even, like, care about. So it's like, there's still so much.
It's crazy.
So,
exciting, but just a lot.
Ghostwire looks really cool. It's from Tengo Gameworks, the makers of Evil Within. So this is like a first-person, not a shooter, but it's like, there is combat and you're fighting all these like supernatural creatures there's this like wave of whatever it is that's taken over Tokyo, and Tokyo's filled with demons, and so you're this guy who's basically like exorcising them and using all these cool like Japanese like exorcism tools and everything. When he moves his hands like in first person, I instantly said, I want a Doctor Strange game that just lets like the multiverse or lets like Mephisto's world loose in New York, and just give me a first person shooty Doctor Strange game. Like the way that dude moves his hands in the gameplay and does this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I want to see that, but in Doctor Strange. So it'll probably never happen, but I was like, I hope Marvel looks at that and says like, hey,
we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that, because it easily fits. I believe the demons might be a little more generic, but the ones in this game like look super trippy. Like, yeah, it looks insane. It looks so weird. It looks like one of those games that like the plot is going to be so over the top and not make sense, but it looks fun. So I'm all for running around the city and fighting supernatural creatures again for a second time this year. So Ghostwire Tokyo looks really cool. And that's it for gaming news.
Well, we'll get straight into movie news then.
Yeah.
None of us saw a movie this week.
I failed.
Sometimes it happens. Movies it's a hard thing. TV shows,
I have to set aside a specific time to watch a movie.
Exactly.
And I have a $25 Fandango gift card I got from work that I have not used yet, or from my previous job.
I've even got with streaming stuff. I thought I'd be watching a lot more movies, but anymore I'm going like kind of down to 30-minute shows again, where it used to be the hour-long shows.
Nightmare Alley is on HBO and Hulu now. I need to check that out.
Oh, that's right.
There's some good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for me with shows, it's like, even if it's a 30-minute show, I'm still watching like an hour and a half of it. I don't know why I don't decide just watch like half a movie or something and come back. But
I feel like I gotta pay attention to a movie more than I do a show, though.
That's true too.
It's fair. I feel like for me, it's like I watch a lot of video essays, so I don't really have an excuse when it comes to time. It's not really a time aspect, but I think it's kind of an interest thing. Like I don't know. Sometimes if I don't really know like what I'm going into it with, like, if I'm blind to something, I'm not going to be very interested in it. Whereas like video essays, it's like, oh, this is a topic I'm interested in or want to learn about, and so I'm going to watch this. And, probably similar with podcasts, even though I definitely watch more video essays than listen to podcasts. But I feel like, I don't know, for me, it's like, like in Kanto, I'm like, oh, I really want to watch it because I know it's good, and a lot of my friends have said it's good, and I know that there's like a premise to it that sounds interesting, and et cetera, but I don't know. When it comes to movies, I'm just really bad at watching new movies. I realize there's a difference between me and my husband in that he likes watching new stuff, shows and movies, and I'm more like a comfort, like, I like to go to my comfort movie, I like to go to my comfort TV show instead of engaging in new stuff. I like just giving myself stuff I already know that I like, which is ironic because I'm like, You know, I'm very like anti-nostalgia. I think nostalgia, you know, is dumb, but at the same time, I do have those comfort things I like to go back to. So maybe I'm a hypocrite. I don't know, but I don't rewatch remakes though. Okay, I will rewatch the original Mulan. And the original like that sort of thing. There's a difference.
Maybe that's why you don't like nostalgia in that sense of like remaking something is because you're like the original is good still.
Because when something is remade or adapted, it just goes like off the wall.
I still love the idea of taking bad movies and remaking them, like Aragon.
Yeah.
Can we get a remake of that?
Seems fine. Yeah.
Like I think that's like such a cool idea. Like take really terrible movies that did really poorly, make them good.
Like a new, well, I guess they're making a Percy Jackson show.
I was thinking of that.
Oh yeah.
Disney has a hold of a show, which I think will be cool to see.
We'll see.
Very similar story there.
Yeah,
I think for me, it's just like I want the freedom to be able to drop it whenever I want. Like for whatever reason, when I'm like, I got a movie, I got to watch that all the way through. But we can do a 30-minute show. I can be like, I'm good. I don't have to watch another one, unless it's a Netflix show. Netflix figured it out. This is what you do with Netflix shows. There's a pro tip for anyone watching Netflix shows. You need to watch the episode and then just 10 minutes into the next episode.
Oh,
and then
so
you
you're
can
not
end
like left on a crazy cliffhanger.
Yep, because it'll literally resolve. The episodes end 10 minutes early. Your episode, whatever you're watching, if you watch 10 minutes in, just until the resolution happens, and you need to turn it off. You have to have that self-control.
That's
like, all right, I'm gonna
a big brain
stop.
move.
That's a very smart move.
Next level. Wow.
I figured that out a few shows ago, but the car show that I watched, that Rust Riches, really had to do it with that one. And it was really obvious with that one. It was literally like they cut the episode early. And then it would end, and then a new episode would start. Terrible. Let's get into the movie news then, though. Shelley, go ahead.
Yeah. So we don't even have much in the movie news department, but we do have a couple things to talk about. One, we have... this is just like such a random statement, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Tom Holland wants to make a Jak and Daxter movie. So
it's the greatest game of all time.
That seems so absurd, but at the same time, like, he obviously just worked on the Uncharted game. Sorry, movie.
I feel like somebody told him to say that.
I don't know. It's like...
And it'll happen.
It's Naughty Dog still, right?
Oh,
it is. Okay, I was just looking that up. I was like, are those both?
No, and that's why it's like, oh, there is some like sort of context behind it. But,
and PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, it's just like...
And Sony.
And he works with Sony.
It's just weird. I'm just like...
The Sony exec probably told him to say that.
Or maybe he said it because he actually wants it, but he knew that if he said it, Sony would pick it up. He's probably got Sony just in putty in his hands.
Yeah.
We didn't report on this, but Uncharted was... it was supposed to be a Bond movie.
I can see that.
So what he pitched was a James Bond origin story featuring him, of course. And they said, how about no, but we'll do an origin story for Uncharted because we own that. And like,
even that Uncharted is not an origin story.
But
either
way,
I don't know.
Never mind.
Like, I think it's mostly a joke. But it's like kind of scary how when Tom Holland says something, it just tends to happen. Because the actual quote here, like, he's saying that, like, this is like, it would be like his sort of dream video game adaptation. Probably because I think it was in an interview, probably talking about Uncharted. But he's like, he wants to play Jak in a live action Jak and Daxter. And he says
doesn't
that
look like Jak
ideally,
at all.
he says ideally it would be...
He could voice the character and like mocap the character for like an animated thing, but
he
I
said
don't know
ideally
about that.
it would be made by A24, so he can make it like really weird and dark. So like it's just absolutely
oh my god.
So that's what I mean. It's like I think it's mostly a joke, but at the same time it's like kind of scary. I kind of hope it doesn't happen. I don't want a live action Jak and Daxter that's
especially
really
by
weird and
A24.
dark. That just sounds pretty bad if I'm being honest, Tom Holland. But either way, it's one of those things where it's like if we talk about it now, because everyone loves Tom Holland and to be fair, I love Tom Holland too, but it's just like he speaks things and it happens and it's not okay sometimes.
Damon Pascal goes, whatever you want.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like I just think that's the wrong move, Tom Holland. You did not know you're making a live action.
Pick a better game.
anything like
I mean,
that, and you don't need to
not
be...
like that Jack is a bad game, but like pick a game that would make a better adaptation.
Yeah, and it's just also would be so weird of him being in like the star in Uncharted, but then also being the star in another
so if
Naughty
he was
Dog
Jack,
live action video game adaptation.
If he was Jack, who would play Daxter?
I don't know. I'm like
Kevin. It would probably be Kevin Hart or something.
It'd be Chris Pratt, obviously.
It would be Chris Pratt, right, actually. All the white dudes in there. So
who's the guy voicing Sonic the Hedgehog? He'd actually be kind of perfect for it.
Oh, Ben Schwartz?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Daxter.
I'm more okay with Ben Schwartz. I'm more okay with that. But okay, this isn't gonna happen, guys. Like, we're just talking about it. It's not gonna happen, right, Tom Holland? It's not gonna... We're not doing that, right? That's not happening? Oh my gosh.
I can't really see it being good. I do like the mocap idea. That would be super cool. Yeah. We need more of that. Why can't we just have really long cutscenes? I'll bring it up every week.
Dude, I don't know.
I want
hate
long
that
cutscenes.
So there's that. That's a weird bit of news, but this is something you probably didn't expect, or maybe you did if you watched the original movie. Murder Mystery 2 is happening. So if you don't remember Murder Mystery, if you're like me and forgot that it existed,
definitely forgettable.
That's totally fine. It's that movie that was on Netflix with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. And it's actually like I did not realize how popular it was. Apparently, it's Netflix's. It's in the list for Netflix's top 10 most watched original films, which is like crazy. I guess they don't have too many original films.
I'm pretty sure that was pre-COVID as well.
Yeah, so good for them, I guess. But they're making a sequel.
I liked the first one.
Yeah,
it was good.
So
I enjoyed it. I just don't remember it at all.
The sequel is obvious because they totally set one up.
Yeah, so
and it's a very classic setting as well.
That's probably for the best. I think it's better to make a sequel when it's like they already had a plan going into it.
And it's actually one of the few good Adam Sandler movies on Netflix because a lot of the new stuff he's done on Netflix has been garbage.
Uncut Gems, is that on Netflix or is that on HBO Max?
I think that was its own thing. I don't think that was a Netflix thing.
It wasn't an original if it is on Netflix. I can't remember where I watched it at.
That's true.
Yeah, it came to theaters and everything.
When I think about Adam Sandler and hearing that phrase next to like good movies he's in, that's like the only movie I can think of. Is that
then you get stuff like
that movie was intense.
There's been a couple on Netflix that have actually been decent with him, but most of them have been bad.
Yeah. That's all our movie news, guys. I know it's kind of whack. Eventually we're going to get back into the swing where there's going to be really big movie news. It's just, it's still the beginning of the year.
Today is not the day.
Yeah, I mean, I even looked to go see a movie in the last couple weeks and nothing really great was in theaters at the time. But I think we got some stuff.
It's just January, February. That's how it goes.
The Kingsman's out, isn't it?
Well, that came out in December, but that's actually coming to Hulu in like March.
Oh.
Because Fox struck a new deal with Hulu now. So that means a lot of those big like 20th movies are going to come to Hulu now.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll get to watch The Kingsman on Hulu pretty soon.
Nice.
There was another movie. There's a couple other movies that come to mind. I can't think of the name of any of them at the moment, but I mean, even before Batman, like there's stuff that's coming, but just it feels like it's been a very dry week for movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, a month I feel like everything's been pretty slow.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we can move on to TV though. Which we actually watch TV, so we can talk about it.
Yeah,
we did watch TV.
A lot of TV.
I guess the first thing I want to talk about is Vox Machina. LJ,
do that.
You had said you had watched a little bit of it. How far did you get?
I got maybe. I mean, how long are episodes? Like.
Start what?
How long are the episodes?
Like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Okay, so I only maybe got like 6 or 7 minutes into it or something. Like it was after that initial scene.
Oh, you got like one episode in.
Well, yeah. So like not even a full episode, but.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah. Well, so in my mind, I'm just gonna open up with this since you've already like basically started the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, Vox Machina feels like they went like, of course they got it funded, and then Amazon's like, ooh, we're gonna pick this up.
Big money.
Mm-hmm. In my mind, it feels like they just went, ooh, we got Amazon behind us now. Let's just do whatever we want. Let's just have nudity and have all this crass humor just because we can. Whereas something like Peacemaker, which has almost just as much of ridiculous content like that, to me that actually has heart and it actually has a story that it's trying to tell, versus Vox Machina. Mm-hmm. So that's my thoughts.
It's like, oh sorry.
It does get a story. I will say that.
Well, yeah, if it, like obviously it's gonna have one.
The content seems super unnecessary to me. It does really strong content, and it's just
the animation feels like it's too good for that. Like I feel like I want to like it because the animation is really good, but it just makes me not care.
It's what I would expect a PG-13. Like I want a PG-13 version of this to have just been whatever D&D show that's in the works.
Yeah,
like I think they're working on some movie or show or something.
If they toned it down a little bit, I would appreciate it a lot more.
Ridiculousness is very Dungeons and Dragons in my experience, and that would be really cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is that, like it's definitely like, oh, if you play a D&D, like we were talking about earlier, if you play D&D, you know there's going to be some nonsense. Mm-hmm. Oh, but like it feels different than that, though.
What were you going to say, Shelley?
I was just going to say that, I haven't seen it yet, and I will probably watch it. I know my husband really wants to watch it, because again, we both are very, very big D&D lovers. We never actually watched any Critical Role, but a lot of our friends do, and so I know a lot of our friends are really interested in this show. I'll have to get their opinion on it. I don't know if any of them have watched it yet. But it kind of sounds like a show that maybe is struggling to figure out what its actual audience is, because I feel like that happens with cartoon, animated shows a lot. It's like, I fully respect if an animated show wants to be more mature. Mm-hmm. I totally 100% understand that, and I think that I think that was kind of clear from the trailers, like just with how much they were cursing and how much language they were using. I'm like, okay, this is meant to be for a mature audience, but at the same time, it sounds like it's kind of maybe going too far in the like, oh, we're, it's like it happens in movies, right? They're like, oh, we're already mature, we're already rated R, we're already at that level. We might as well throw in all this other freaking crap that you can only do if it's rated this way or like presented this way. And with Amazon, right, they can kind of just do whatever. Whereas like Invincible is very mature, but there's
I don't think any nudity.
I don't think there's any, but it's like it is gruesome, it is violent, and so. But I feel
like that's there because the comics are probably
Invincible's a really good example of an animated show that was mature, but wasn't like being over the top.
It wasn't overbearing at all. Yeah.
I've heard of so many anime shows that sort of struggle with that sort of balance. Like, I even know, like, I don't know if you guys heard about the disaster that was High Guardian Spice, but that was making the rounds on social media for a while when it came out, just because it's very, very interesting to learn about. Basically, it is one of those shows that just sort of struggles to find its audience, because it's, on one hand, acts very much like a show for little kids or show for cartoons, but then they just randomly have curse words, and they randomly have violence, and they randomly have like really mature stuff, but then at the same time they like break down like really simple concepts as if your audience isn't adults, and it's just very strange. So I don't know, I wonder, it sounds like it is more of a case of like they just want to be mature and they're just going to throw in as many things as they can. And also, D&D is incredibly chaotic, and if you're, I mean, seeing nudity visually is a little bit different than like, oh, this guy happens to be like naked that you walk past in the street or whatever when you're playing D&D, because that's up to your own imagination if you're playing, or you could just tell your DM, hey, I'm not really comfortable with this. Maybe we cannot have that happen. And you can, retcon and all, or just change the direction.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that's where I'd say I've never played in a secular D&D session, so I don't know how vulgar or crass somebody could get. But I imagine that's very possible. But I've just never had that.
I've seen so many horror stories about D&D sessions that just go terrible. There's any Reddit users, any Redditors out there. I follow the. I think it's called D&D Horror Stories or RPG Horror Stories subreddit. I think it's RPG Horror Stories, and it's like, it's almost exclusively, not literally exclusively, but so many horror stories about like just whack groups that come together and the DM being incredibly perverted, and just like terrible things happen because of it. And so I'm really blessed and happy that I've had such amazing D&D groups.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that is going to happen in a lot of D&D groups, and if you're comfortable with it, that's great. But then it's also weird how it's like, yes, this was a D&D group that was broadcasted to the public, but it's still like just a bunch of people playing D&D originally. And I feel like everyone, you know, when you're playing D&D, and if you've never played D&D, that's fine, but I feel like whenever I do, like, I always am so engrossed in the characters and the story because I'm literally playing the game. I'm interacting with it. It is personal. And I always think, like, oh, this story would be like a great book, or would be a great, you know, show or movie or whatever, when really that's not actually realistic, because so much freaking chaos and nonsense and non-story related stuff happens in D&D. You could just have a random TPK at the climax of an arc or something when you're fighting the big bad, and it's like, oh, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Actually, a good example is the D&D campaign that I'm in. You know, I just talked about how we finished off an arc, and we were facing the big bad, or one of the big bads, not literally the BBEG, not the big bad evil guy, but at least a big boss that we've sort of been like leading up to, right? And we very quickly realized, we're gonna all die. Like, we are not actually prepared for this. Mm-hmm. This is scary. And then basically what our DM did, it has a different villainous group come in and like actually kind of help us, because we realized we both have a shared enemy of this guy that was right in front of us.
Enemy of my enemy.
How we talked about how like that was actually made sense story-wise, but gameplay-wise, it sort of like hurt us a little bit, because we wanted to just be us, and all of a sudden it feels like a Deus Ex Machina coming in and sort of saving our butts a little bit. So D&D, it's like, it's so hard because you do have to kind of choose between story and gameplay.
There's a balance for sure.
Yeah, and so it's just, I don't know, again, I haven't seen the show yet, but I'm curious to see how they are going to balance that, because obviously, you know, Matt Mercer is choosing to make sure that his, you know, players have fun, and part of playing have fun is that gameplay and letting your characters kind of do whatever, even if it doesn't make sense for the story, or throwing things in there that don't make sense to the story or characters or whatever. That's like part of the fun. So getting that translated to a show,
that's one thing that I think, Shelley, you will enjoy about the show is, like, almost the entire time you can pick out what was rolled and what was like like decided on, and obviously they don't say roll for it or anything. It's just like they were like, I'm gonna go do this, and then you go watch them do it, and you see them either pass or fail, and you're like, they definitely had a roll to see if they're gonna pass or fail that.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a couple situations like that, or just the way that they will approach the enemies, and you're like, you kind of understand, like, oh, this is what happened. Okay. Like, you can really see the board in your head, which is fun.
Yeah, and I think I'll enjoy it, because again, I am gonna watch it eventually, almost definitely. I think I will definitely enjoy it for that aspect, and probably Daniel and I will be watching it more for that aspect at all. But that context is important. I just feel like it'd be really difficult. Sounds like, again, because I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds like it would be difficult for folks who've never played D&D to watch something like this. And granted, maybe they're not even interested in watching it all. Maybe only D&D players are interested in watching it, or those who have consumed enough Critical Role that they kind of know what's going on with D&D, which is a great handful of people out there who've just never played and just know the rules or know a bunch of stuff because of Critical Role, which is both a pro and a con, I would say. But is it like beneficial? Are those things beneficial to an actual story? Is it beneficial to the characters and their development? Like, it's always such a long grind when it comes to campaigns and D&D campaigns, at least in my experience, where it's like little character moments that build up to the like character development at the very end. It's not very fluid, because again, you have to make so many checks and you have to make so many decisions, and I don't know. It's all just interesting to think about, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. The other show that I think we all watched. Do we have anything else on that? On Vox Machina?
Nope.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if I'd recommend anyone quite yet. I think
still too soon to tell. Yeah.
The content is very intense, and I don't know if it's that enjoyable that I think it makes up for it.
That's fair.
But yeah, teach their own. I think if you really like know D&D, Shelley, I feel like you're gonna really like it for the D&D aspect, not for like the majority content.
Story and the That makes sense.
I think the fact that it's a D&D show and the
nice.
concepts are really cool. But we all watched Boba Fett. Shelley, you had not watched Boba Fett last week.
Yeah, and now I'm caught up.
What do you...
Totally
you echo everything we've been saying so far? Or?
Yeah. I guess I don't know how spoilery we want to be, but just looking
Try not to be too much, but...
I really liked all of the flashback sequences in the first episode.
Yeah, like those were the best parts to me.
Really,
the least favorite part. I didn't care at all.
Aw. See, I'm the opposite. I don't care about what's happening to him now.
Yeah,
I don't care about the past.
My wife was on the same boat as you guys. She was like, I want to know like what happened to him after the pit. And I'm like,
I don't know how else to roast this show. Like, really.
I want to know why he's here. And I want to know what he's doing. I want him to do something cool, and he hasn't done anything cool yet. But...
and I think it's like it's weird because it's like I feel like it's really weird to think about how I feel like Mandalorians in general got really popular because of Boba Fett. They saw, you see the Mandalorian armor, and he's not even Mandalorian per se, but they see the Mandalorian armor, and that,
they see the armor, and they're like, that's a cool character.
And that's cool, and he looks cool, right? Like, with the helmet on, he looks cool. And so then they threw a bunch of Mandalorian stuff in, like, Clone Wars, for example, and then obviously they, like, made the Mandalorian, and so now... It's
Rebels
really
as well. They add a lot.
Yeah, and Rebels. Yeah, it's like, it's weird to think about how, like, I feel like Boba Fett popularized and made Mandalorians just, again, way more in the forefront of Star Wars fans' minds besides just, Jedi and stuff. You think like, oh, the Mandalorians, I recognize that armor. But at the same time, I feel like it's almost to Boba Fett's detriment because shows like The Mandalorian and
he's not even
like
the coolest
Mando
one.
Or
he's not even a real one.
Are way more interesting than Boba Fett, at least as of right now. And so
this character you thought was cool because you had a toy back in the day.
Exactly. It's like it's a weird cycle of like he was super popular.
So many OG trilogy fans right now.
He made this alien race or culture, I should say. It's more of a culture. Very popular, and now that's become so popular that going back to the original Boba Fett is no longer as good because you've seen all this other good stuff that came from it. So that's overall, without spoilers, I think that's sort of my overview on the show so far. And if you've seen the show, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I don't think you're gonna. I mean, I don't think that's spoilery at all because.
No, I think.
No, you're good.
Yeah, like, it's just interesting, right? Like, I would have wanted Boba Fett to do more cool stuff at this point, I guess, as well. Yeah. Is what I want to say.
Yeah.
I think everyone's kind of in the same boat there. And maybe, especially with this last episode, again, not wanting to say too much, I think it's becoming more of a show that I originally thought The Mandalorian was going to be. And The Mandalorian was not that show. And now that I'm seeing the show, I'm confused. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm like, okay, I'm finally seeing the show that I originally thought Mandalorian was going to be like when that show first came out. And now I like don't know how to feel about it because I loved The Mandalorian so much that now going back to this, I'm like, is this really what I want? And like with Boba Fett and anyway. Those are my thoughts.
The thing you thought you wanted isn't turning out to be as good, kind of a thing.
I guess, like, and it's still fine, but it's like maybe it's too little, too late.
Yeah, like it's still fine, but it's kind of on the weaker side, and we're at a point now where the show's not even a Boba Fett show anymore.
Yeah, I will say one thing.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's spoilery. You guys could tell. We could cut it out if you guys think it is. But that chase scene was so funny.
That's the scene that gets roasted all the time.
It's like, so funny.
You're not the only one.
If you haven't seen it, like, I'm not giving you any context, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, and it's hilarious. I don't know. They try to make it so cool, and it's just like, they're going so slow. And you're just like, what is going on? It's really funny.
There's been I saw, like, I think it was a meme or something, just the fact that he has a jetpack. I don't know if he's just forgotten that he has a jetpack.
Bro!
See, I never thought about that even. That's funny.
Yeah, no,
that's
straight
like...
up. Straight up. It's...
Yeah.
I just wish that he made smart decisions. Maybe that's what I want. Maybe that's what I want.
Yeah.
But Fennec is cool. Obviously, I love Fennec.
And that's what's even funnier is, like, she's the one who's, like, we talked about this before. Like, she's the cooler character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just make a show about her instead. Straight up.
Yeah. Well,
I care more.
I'm calling it now. Boba Fett gets shot, dies at the end of this show.
I feel so bad.
It'd be bad
for the fans.
Fennec, yeah, for the fans it would suck, but I kind of just want them to put Boba Fett to rest now at this point, like literally, like just like somebody shoot him, and then Fennec take over the Tatooine Empire or whatever empire they were trying to build for whatever reason we still never knew, but I think it should be Fennec's.
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he rides in on some crazy monster and
like of course it would be like an epic, like,
and just
obviously
completely reminds everyone that he's cool.
And I think that's what it should be. He should go down fighting, of course. Like not just.
I forgot one other thought I had watching the show.
Go ahead.
It reminds me of Dragon Age. It reminds me of Dragon Age Inquisition specifically.
Like getting the party together to fight a war?
Kind of.
Okay, I was like, what?
You're this character, and you're put in this position of power, and there is a difference because, like, I think in the show, Boba Fett's sort of choosing this, whereas in Inquisition, you don't really choose that role.
You got the magical void.
But just being like people coming up to your throne in Dragon Age Inquisition, and it's like, oh, we have to figure out what to do with you, and then like a lot of times he's just like, well, maybe you can work for me, or maybe we can make this work. I don't know why. Just watching so many of those scenes made me think of Dragon Age Inquisition, because that's what I do all the time. And then like all your party members or whatever, you know, the show Fennec is like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if that's smart, Boba. I don't know if that's a good idea. But then it's like you do it anyway and face the consequences, whatever those consequences may be.
I could see that.
I thought of it was like very much like Dragon Age Inquisition, where it's like.
But the party members have better ideas than you, and you still don't listen, and you're like, nah, I'm just going to do my thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's just one thought I had, though.
In any other Godfather-style movie show, he has shown so much weakness.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't done anything. I don't know. Make Boba Fett cool again.
Still worth to watch. I mean, do we know how many episodes there's going to be?
There's only one more left.
Oh my gosh, really?
I feel like it has to... Like, it's a must-watch for Mandalorian, just so you kind of understand what's happening.
Now it is.
Mandalorian's story.
A few weeks ago, I was telling Shelley she could totally skip the show.
Yeah. Like, I think just... Like, it was kind of brought up, I think LJ, you said that it feels like a spinoff filler for... Or not a spinoff, but it was obviously a spinoff, but it was kind of like a filler.
It totally felt like filler, yeah.
Like, Mandalorian's the main anime, and then these are the filler episodes.
It's like...
Kind of an OVA.
It's like watching those episodes of Naruto you don't need to watch.
It's just crazy that the most interesting things happening don't even involve Boba Fett. That's
the
craziest thing to me, is that everything else you see in that show is more interesting. Even again, for me personally, I know, Cody, you disagree, but for me personally, I think like even the flashbacks were more interesting than what is currently being presented to Boba Fett in the situation in the show.
I'm not disagreeing with that per se. Like, they did a really cool thing with the train in the past.
Yeah.
But I wanted the present to be more interesting. Like,
yes,
I wanted and at first you weren't getting much of the present at all, and so I was like, nothing's happening in the present. But then they had episodes where they were in the present, and I'm like, still nothing's happening in the present.
Yeah. And that's how I feel too. It was like, that stuff was so cool. It's like, then it's like, okay, well, why is he doing this? You know, and what's going to happen?
Like, the past is probably better than the present stuff. I just wanted more of the present stuff, and I wanted it to matter. And so far, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Nope.
And, like, on the flip side, I kind of wished... Well, I think we all just wish this was a better show about Boba Fett.
Yeah, like, honestly, I really wish it was.
It's turning into a show with implications.
It's just a Mando show
that you still need to watch, and that's Disney Plus for you. They're just like, no, you can't just have like some side show about some side characters that you're vaguely interested in. You have to watch every show because, in, you know, Marvel and Star Wars combined, it's like you have to watch every show because every show is going to have implications for the universe that it's involved with. Like every Marvel show still has really big implications for what the future of Marvel has. You know, it connects into the movies or whatever. And then Star Wars, it's turning it into the same thing where it's like you can't even have an offshoot of Boba Fett anymore. You can't even have an offshoot of other characters anymore. Like, what's Obi-Wan going to look like going to look like as a show? Is it just going to be a cool show about him, or is it going to have big implications for... And, like, who knows what's happening in the movies for Star Wars either? Because, like, they did their last trilogy. Are they going to make another trilogy? What are they going to do?
I don't know if they know yet. What do these implications
lead to?
Yeah, I don't think they need to.
There are talks of it being, like, a Filoni universe, basically, of, like, Star Wars. So all the Star Wars shows that are, like, basically having a Disney Plus that are Filoni's will have, like, they'll have this big events, like, big Marvel events where you'll have to watch a show or a movie. But you'll have to watch all of these shows to have understood it.
And
I feel like the Always Sunny meme now, like, especially telling my family, like, this thing came from a show, this thing came from a comic book, this thing came from a video game.
Also,
too,
came from this. I'm not even against that. It's just, it's happening already. Like, like, I would be okay with a show where I had to watch all the other shows to understand it, but, like, Boba Fett should have been a show that stood on its own, and then had this other thing that if I want to invest in everything else, I can, but I don't have to.
It's the Kingdom Hearts problem. Because here's the thing with Kingdom Hearts, if you don't know, every single Kingdom Hearts game, every single Kingdom Hearts media, whether it comes in the form of a mainline game, or a random app that you can only get a Japanese version of, or a 3DS game, or another type of game, they literally all matter. I was talking to my friend who, of course, I made this connection because I'm like, oh, you love Kingdom Hearts and you love Star Wars. Makes sense to me. Not dig or anything. I'm just like, oh, this makes sense, right? Because he was explaining the plot and the importance of the rhythm game, the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game that came out on the Switch. It is a stupid rhythm game, which, like, you know, if I was someone who had played Kingdom Hearts and like it for the gameplay, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to play to get a rhythm game. But you said, it sort of retells the entire story up to this point, and then at the very end, there's two things that are included that have huge implications for the future of Kingdom Hearts that you have to consume and you have to understand in order to see the future of Kingdom Hearts, right? And I'm just like, it's the same problem, where it's like, you can't just have things stand on its own anymore. It all has to be connected into this bigger, grander thing, and that's just super annoying. It's super annoying. It's time investing that you don't want to spend all this time in, and it's also just depressing that they're relying so hard on past successes and past characters and nostalgia. I don't want to go too far. I don't need to go to spoilers, but I'm hoping what I say makes some sense. It's just kind of annoying that it's like, both with Marvel and Star Wars and stuff, they're like, everything has to be connected. Everything has to have implications, right? It has to be related to the future of this multiverse or universe or whatever, galaxy, right? I don't know.
Yeah, because now it's no longer just Boba Fett. Now it's just more Star Wars.
And that's why I liked Vision so much, because it really actually was disconnected. It really actually was. It was just vignettes from around the galaxy of just individual stories and individual characters that, you know,
that was the most original content we've gotten out of Star Wars maybe ever.
Yes, and it opened up the opportunity for you to be like, oh, this is like a cool Star Wars thing that maybe we could like look more into, and like they even made like that book, that Star Wars novel Ronin, right, off of that one episode, and like that's cool because you can go out of your way if you really want to consume more of that. You go out of your way and you can have a fun time with just that. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't spell implications for the future of Star Wars. I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I haven't actually read it.
Well, that's what they kind of said when that show was made. Is like you can't connect it to anything. Like you can't be, doing stuff like that.
Good thing. I wish that happened more. I wish that was with Boba Fett.
They couldn't use like any characters or anything that had already been done.
Exactly. I ranted enough.
Well, yeah.
Well, the other show that me and LJ, we've all been staying on basically the same stuff. Peacemaker. Getting really good.
Not much we can say there, but it's still really good.
Yeah, that would be a spoiler. I was thinking.
I know. It's at a point now where it's like close to being done, so it's like we can't really say much anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know a lot more about what's going on in the show than we did at first. A lot has been revealed.
All heck is broken loose at this point.
Yeah, things that were planted towards the beginning of the show have come to light, and it's really cool. I don't know. Again, really mature, but
It's kind of funny how both of these shows are breaking into some kind of war scenario.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's interesting to kind of compare it to Vox Machina in the sense that I'm like, the content in that makes it almost not worth it. And then this show, it has basically, like you said, they're kind of the same content, but the story is good, the humor is good. You kind of can look past some of the more mature things.
It has a lot of heart to it that goes deeper than just the disgusting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the basis of the show, is that all of these people are just completely terrible. And so you're watching the characters develop and become better people through it, and that's really cool to see.
Which I didn't get the vibe, that vibe from Vox Machina at all. Like, I really didn't. Like, I'm just like, nah, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if character development would be the strong suit of Vox Machina, for sure.
Because it would be nice, like, you know, like the way that show starts, it's like, oh no, we're all just kind of dirtbags, like we're all just suck, and it would be neat to see them to develop into actual heroes with, you know, credibility.
With that, because it's D&D, it's more of like they're slowly revealing their backstories, and that makes them a little bit more interesting as characters.
Right.
Getting to see like how they got to where they are, basically. Whereas, this is more all these people are garbage human beings, but are like slowly bettering themselves throughout the show. It's kind of cool to see that.
Like even Peacemaker, he has this crazy past that, like, in a lot of ways, it's not really his fault, you know, like that he is the way he is, you know, like, and to me, like, for that character to be that interesting was huge. Yeah,
I was surprised. I shouldn't be, because James Gunn is just he does amazing things with storytelling. But like when he's crying and he's like, everyone hates me, was just like, wow, this is not where I thought this character. I would have never thought that we would have gone there with Peacemaker when watching the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
They even bring up kind of like the psychology of why he is the way that he is. Not just the backstory, the stuff that LJ's talking about. But like he's using it as like a defense mechanism, so people don't get too close to him. It's all really, really interesting.
Yeah.
James Gunn is done good work.
Good.
Again,
good. It's a good character study for sure.
Very mature, so a lot of nudity and a lot of stuff. So kind of be aware of that.
We've thrown many warning labels every time we talk about this show. We're gonna stick to that.
I wonder if VidAngel even has a thing for it. If you can watch it on VidAngel, it might be worth it.
Oh wow.
I would say, even if you're like, I can't do the content, if VidAngel has something for it, it would be worth just like getting rid of all that stuff and watching a VidAngel version of it, because it's that good.
Yeah.
As long as I don't cut out curse words, I haven't used VidAngel at all.
Me neither.
Like, if it bleeps out the curse words, cool, or like silences them. If it just cut out the scene or the clip, that could be really annoying in a show like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we will. Oh, you watched one more TV show.
I mean, I don't really need to say much about it. I picked up Clone Wars because of Boba Fett. So if Boba Fett did one thing right, it made me get back into these cartoons.
He's like, please let me watch something interesting.
Yeah, and so I apparently, like, the first 3 seasons are the roughest parts of that show. And I realized, I already went through that stuff in the last couple years. So I'm just picking up from season 4, which a lot of people say season 4 is one of the best ones. So cool. I'm picking that up.
I could go back and maybe watch it. I liked The Bad Batch, and I know The Bad Batch is supposed to be a lot like the later seasons of Clone Wars, but
yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I just wanted to let everybody know, like, hey, I'm finally doing this thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to see Hunter from Bad Batch in Boba Fett. I think that would be silly.
That may not happen
and
now.
Funny. Silly and fun. Not funny. But it would be funny too. Okay, we'll go to the TV show. Not a lot going on in TV news. We said at the top of the show, we're just kind of geeking out about everything. There wasn't like a whole lot in the news category as really spotlights. We got a trailer for Vikings Valhalla, which I don't know if anyone cares about but me. But I really like the Vikings TV show on History Channel.
Vikings one of those shows that I just kind of missed on. Like, I've seen like a season or two, but for whatever reason, there was just so much other stuff that I dropped off of it.
There's not a whole lot to note in this. It is like 100 years, I think, in the future. of the Vikings TV show, and that was the one interesting thing that caught my ear, I guess, was they name dropped Kattegat, which is this like it's weird because it's not a real place, but like the Vikings TV show kind of prided itself on being a History Channel thing. It's a fictional, and at first it starts off as a little farm, so it kind of makes sense. And they're like fiction that you could like, oh, it was just this farm that like maybe was forgotten over the years or whatever. But at the end of the show, it's like a full kingdom. Wow. And so, spoilers.
That's cool.
But that kind of shows you like this show is definitely in that world. Yeah. And not in, a historical world necessarily. It's definitely historical fiction. There's a whole fictional kingdom that's going to, apparently, according to this trailer, try to take over England.
That might be a fun thing for me to watch that show and go back and like watch more Vikings.
Yeah.
Do the reverse.
There's he says he's Harold something, and there was a King Harold in the original show. So I'm wondering if like maybe he's a descendant or something. That would be really interesting. And then a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing is very like towards the end of Vikings was being name dropped. New Greenland was like a big thing towards the end of the show. So I don't know. I'm curious. I'm excited for it, but I watched all of Vikings. I think that show's amazing up until the point where they have a few cast changes. I won't give too much away. I'll say it that way. And then the focus kind of goes on to other cast characters. And it kind of dies away after that. It's not as interesting. The guy that plays Ivor, though, which is one of the sons of Ragna, he's an amazing, amazing actor. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him in more stuff later on. I think the other thing is news about news. So we love doing that.
Yeah.
Could not find anything for TV. There is a trailer for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Still hate that name. That will be debuting during Super Bowl Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah. So now you know. We will not be here next week. Probably should throw that out there. Talking about there's gonna be so many trailers coming out. We will probably miss them, unfortunately, as far as the next time we're on the podcast. We record on Mondays. Monday's Valentine's Day. 2 of us are married.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll watch everything and just collect the notes for the next week.
Yes. Our spouses would not love if we chose the podcast over them on Valentine's Day.
Right.
So, we will end the podcast there then. You guys geeking out about anything else this week?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WarHeroLJ and streaming on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace on Friday nights. And
Shelley?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24. You can find me most Tuesdays streaming Persona 4 Golden, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. Life's just been weird, so I haven't really been able to stream for a while. I'm trying to figure out, how to do that again. So, yeah, that's why I say most Tuesdays. Ideally Tuesdays. However, burnout's real, so.
Cool. You can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Goodbye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.